everybody, it's Amanda here from scrimpingmommy.co.uk. Hope you're all doing well, and today I'm going to make a really pretty box, and also I'm going to share something as an idea of what could go inside the box. Everything's going to be handmade. I have pre-cut two bases, two pieces of cardstock, I beg your pardon, one for the base of my box and one for the lid of my box. I'll put all of the measurements for everything over on my blog. But the base measures 5.5 by 8.25, and the lid measures 5 5/8 by 8.25. So basically, it's one A4 sheet of paper, cardstock. I am using thick Whisper White, so that's basically what you lose from an A4 sheet. Okay, so it's a lovely little box, and we're going to use Detailed with Love today, and I was lucky enough to get it as a bundle, and it comes with stitched labels, framelets, and there's lots and lots of elements in there. I have shown it before, so I'm not going to go into massive detail. And then to cut this oval here, I am bringing in my stitched shape framelets, which have carried over, and it's the larger one that we're going to be using. Okay, and to keep it simple, I'm going to stick to one colour, and I'm going to show you the beautiful new Highland Heather, which is one of the lovely brand new colours from the colour revamp. So that's what we're going to be using. So what we need to do first of all, now I have marked very lightly in pencil a B for base and an L for lid, because they are more or less the same size, and I don't want to get them mixed up. But basically you just treat them both the same, and one will fit on top of the other. So what you want to do is you want to score at 1.5 inches on all four sides, and you do the same on both pieces. So 1.5, let me just check, yeah, 1.5. Oh, I nearly cut it then. 1.5. 1.5. Just make sure it's straight. And on that one, put that to one side and do the same on this one. I sometimes like to score using my cutter, just because it takes up a little bit less space than the Simpler Scoreboard, but the Simpler Score is actually easier to use. I don't know, I like them both. Right, so I've scored those, so now we need to cut and formulate our box. You'll have seen this a million times. We're just cutting the flaps, and we're going to form a box shape, and we're going to do exactly the same to each one. So I'll quickly fold and burnish, and I may well fast forward this part, because it'd be a bit boring. So I'm doing all of that. So that is the base. I might not fast forward it, I might just leave it in. And this is the lid. Now before I do anything to the lid, I actually want to do some stamping. So I've chosen just a dainty little flower, and it is on the lid that you want to stamp. So that's why I've marked it with an L. And I'm using this little one here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stamp a pattern on the lid here, and I'm using the Highland Heather, but I'm going to do it where you stamp off so that it's lighter. Okay, and I'm doing it fairly random. I know I don't need to bother stamping these flaps because they're going to tuck inside. Yeah. So I'm just twisting it round as I go, just to change the direction of it a right little bit. To try and do kind of a random pattern. I've said it before, I'm not terribly good at random. I like things to be quite symmetrical and organised. So I will do my utmost to bring you a random pattern. And because I'm stamping off, it's just making that ink a little bit paler, a little bit more of a softer lilac. Although it's a beautiful colour, it's quite a strong colour when it's its full strength. So I'm just turning the stamp around each time so that it's a slightly different angle on each one. It has been said to me before that isn't this kind of like wasting ink. Yeah, it doesn't really worry me because they do go a long way to the Stampin' Up! Inks. And, you know, I want to get a certain look. So I'm happy to just, I'll just do these corners even though it's not necessary. Because you're not going to see them. But I just feel like, just in case you can see a right little bit of it, I'm going to just stamp it all. Just in case. Because knowing my look, I'll end up with a strip. So we've done that. Now, while I've got my ink out, I'm just going to also stamp my sentiment here. So I've got another sheet of card here, which is Whisper White. And we're stamping the lovely oval. Now, I'm not going to stamp off. I'm going to do this one full strength, as it were. And then I shall cut it out with the stitched oval framelit. So there we go. So I'll put that to one side and we'll cut that out shortly. And I'll just do some more stamping actually, because what we're going to do is we're going to put, oh, I've put ink on that now. Turn it over. We're going to put just like a decorative strip across the box. So I've got a piece of the Highland Heather cardstock there. And then a piece of Whisper White that's going to go over it, which I've just blobbed ink over. So I'll turn it over. And what we're going to do is we're going to stamp I Love You in a band across. So let me find that stamp, which is there. And oops, a daisy. Yeah, this will fit if I just carefully take that little flower one off and add this one. I want it quite straight, I think, so I'll line it up on my grid paper. I have not got a sample of this. This is the first time I've done it. I've practiced the box to make sure the size has worked, but as for the stamping and the decoration, it's all new. Okay, so we're just going to stamp it all the way across in a band. And I'm doing this one full strength. I'm not stamping off. Now that could be done a little bit straighter, but you know, not to worry. In fact, what I might do to counteract the fact that that is a tad wonky is re-stamp over the top bit. So it makes it look like it's meant to be like that. I've got away with that, haven't I? I'm pleased with that. That looks pretty. So there we go. Stamping our own belly band sort of thing. And that's really pretty, I like that. So we can leave that to dry now so I don't smudge it. And I will start and build my boxes. And I will more than likely fast forward this bit, so hold on to your seats. And we're off. Okay, so we're fast forwarding just the folding and burnishing and snipping that box because it's really, really straightforward. It's not difficult. Anybody can do it. Just make sure you do notch so that the box goes together really nicely. I've used snail. I would suggest you use something a bit stronger. And don't forget, do mark which is your lid and which is your base. But you will find that one, obviously, is slightly bigger than the other because that is how it's been measured. So I was just checking that it fits nicely, and it does. And then I made the belly band, I fast forwarded this bit as well, just to make it a little bit less for you to watch. Lining it up, putting it across the middle, and adjusting it because it wasn't straight, it was wonky. And then I've brought in a 1-inch circle punch to make a notch. That's cool, isn't it? So what I have done, what I did do before I started filming was I did do some of the components already. So we're ready already. And so what I did do was I have pre-cut the sentiment using the stitched edge framelit, and then in with the beautiful new stitch labels, you get all of these fancy labels, and you get a little heart, and you get all sorts. I have shown them, so I'm not going to show them all, but what I've done to go in my box is I have created a set of gift tags, and I have pre-stamped and pre-cut all the elements. So I'm just going to stick them all together now, and take you with me, as it were, on my decorating journey, because it is my favourite part of crafting. So you can just listen to me waffle on for a bit, I'm sure you won't mind. So I've pre-cut these little hearts, and I did sit and cut quite a lot of them, and you know, some people might think, oh, that's time consuming, but do you know what, it's so worth it, because how cute are those? So I've cut some in Whisper White, and then I have used Highland Heather cardstock on my gift tags. So I'm putting one way and one the other, like so, and then that will go on dimensionals and sit on my box. You can see where I've reused some cardstock I was practice stamping on. I don't believe in wasting. I'm from Yorkshire, we're not made of money in Yorkshire, and even if we are, we don't like spending it. We don't mind spending it, but we don't want to waste. That's the thing. So, as my little, and I'm going to now layer that over there. Try and get it as central as I can. And that is our box. That's not very straight, Amanda. You know. So that is our lovely box, all hand stamped. I think that is absolutely gorgeous, and what a fantastic stamp set. And it does fit nicely on there. Okay. I always struggle to get my lids on because my hand-eye coordination's shocking. Which is why my husband will never let me drive when he's in the car, because he just doesn't trust me. He says I couldn't hit a bus with an elephant. Right, so I've used the tag topper punch. I leave the sizes to these over on my blog at scrimpingmommy.co.uk so that you can make these too. But they start off at 4.5 by 2, and then you put them inside the tag topper punch, whichever put it away. It's here. Okay, you use a tag topper punch to get that shape, or you can do it by hand. And then the this DSP is the Share What You Love DSP, and these are cut to 1 3/4 by 3.5. Okay, so then I've stamped out various sentiments from the Detailed with Love stamp set. They are all from this one set, so I've just used one set and one ink and a little sneaky bit of DSP. So we're going to construct these tags. So here's one I did earlier, and I did use my scalloped circle punch for a background there. So I'm utilising stuff that I've already got, as well as, you know, new stuff. And I'm just loving these little hearts, and I've cut lots out so that I can use them as decorations. Okay, so that's one. So that will go in my little box, and I have done a set of 4. So let's get some of these on. I'm going to use dimensionals on this one. Get these constructed, and then you can see everything all finished and all done at once. I love this one. It looks like a little ticket. So this is one of the thinlets. And again, I'm going to add a little heart. Tiny little bit of glue, you really don't need much. And I'm just going to add that on there. And that's another one. Done, ready to go. Okay. This one, right, we're going to have it going this way. Okay, so let's have that on dimensionals as well. You can take the same principle and the same idea and make little mini note cards. They wouldn't fit in this box, but you know, there's loads. I've got tutorials on mini note card boxes in my collection somewhere. Okay, so I'm going to add Another little heart there. So that's another one done. That's 3. And we're on to the last one, and we've used the same shape, but this one says, life is sweeter with friends like you. Love it. Beautiful, beautiful sentiments. And there's a good mix of sentiments as well. There we go, you can see that I've reused again. Okay, it would be nice with some little ribbons added, because it's quite new into the catalogue. I don't have my new ribbon order yet, so hence I can't use them. But yeah, tie a little bit of ribbon or twine on the top. That would look super pretty. Or if you're giving this as a gift, you could put the tags in and then just a length of ribbon in there so that they can use as much or as little as they like. That would be a nice idea. Another idea would be to make all the components and don't actually put them together. Put all the tag and the sentiment and the cutouts, put them all in the little box, and it's like a little gift set and they can make their own tags. There's another idea. Okay, so I've added 2 hearts on that one. I am absolutely loving the colour of this paper. So there we go. Now there's loads of room for lots more tags in there, or you can add some little other goodies. You could make a little narrow notebook, you could add a little pen, anything, absolutely anything. There's lots and lots of room in there. The depth of the box is 1.5, yeah. So let's see if I can get this on without faffing. Because of my hand-eye coordination. There we go. Just to prove you that it does fit nicely. And it is nice and snug. We've got the little thumb notches so you can open it really easily. I think that's a lovely, lovely box. I hope you'll give that a try and check out the lovely brand new Highland Heather. Beautiful. See you soon. Bye.